program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming to you live on the networks of South Florida Live, along with simulcast every day on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. We just surpassed 113,000 members. We keep growing. You cannot stop it. You can only hope to contain it. And sometimes you can't even contain it. Gentlemen, what a whirlwind weekend I had. How was yours, Jeff Defo DeForest?
Nice. Relatively quiet. Tried to stay away from the casino on Saturday, and that didn't work out. I got there late in time to bet the Haskell and a couple of late races at Saratoga, but spent it largely eating and drinking by swimming pools. One on Saturday, my son's house with my grandchildren. They're both great. And then on Sunday, I had to miss the extravaganza at Gulfstream, which you know how difficult that is for me. My car, almost as if driven by magnetic force field, started to head south on Sunday, but I ended up at a birthday party, very lovely young lady's house, one of my wife's tennis friends. And they had a big vegetarian and vegan thing working. So it was an interesting food experience, too.
Oh, great. A vegetarian vegan pool party with a bunch of tennis ladies.
They weren't afraid to get lit. The vegetarian aspect did not exclude excessive amounts of alcohol and a variety of interesting ways in which to consume it.
Well, yeah, because you're alcohol involves grains and grapes and barley.
Pistachio cheesecake Jell-O shots, my friend.
Okay, well, you know, this sounds like you had yourself a time. You are sporting a deep tan, which always...
Too much time in a pool, man. That really stripes you. I mean, all that time on the walk of life, no problem. Got the hat on, pool, boom. Face is blistered.
Well, we did miss you yesterday out at Gulfstream for our, I guess we're going to call it the second quarterly Brunch Bash, and it was fantastic. We had a crew, over 20, almost 30 people there, a lot of paying guests who saw and read about it on the Let's Eat group and the post I put there. And so we had 4 sets of contest winners, and that was great. We had Lubie and Shirley and me and Valerie, and then it was like, we learned a couple of things there, but I just first...
It was like the unveiling, though, with Messi when you brought the new love interest in your life to this thing.
Well, we want to keep this on a low key.
I want to hear more about that.
Well, if you had come, maybe you would have met her, and that's it.
Sure, I would have thought, what is she doing with a guy like you?
Unveiling. Well, Serena and LeBron were not there, but we did have a great time. And I got to give a tip of the cap, Joe Beja and the whole crew there at Gulfstream. Yeah. I mean, we kept changing the numbers and the names, but they figured it all out. We had 5 great tables right along the window there, and again, like
Sarni, no Sarni.
Sarni does not do buffets, and you know what? He's ruled off. He's just too antisocial. We need convivial, whatever people who are happy and chatty, and we learned a couple of things. But before I get to that, I got to start off with the beginning of the weekend, which was I bolted right from Gulfstream on Friday after Friday's show, and then made our way up to Tampa. And boy, what a fun time I had up there with my daughter visiting one of her friends who just started at University of South Florida there. And I tell you what, we spent the day, a very hot day, at Busch Gardens on Saturday. And let me tell you, Defo, getting old is a bitch. Because
you lost it for the roller coasters?
Well, I love roller coasters. Again, we talked about it on Friday's show. Had a blast, but the thing is, the day after, I was sore. I had whiplash, and I was placed into the NFL's concussion protocol too.
No,
because it was just and after a visit, I needed a chiropractor, a neurologist, and a personal injury attorney.
How many rides did you take?
Did about 7 different coasters. They have a whole bunch there.
How many do they have? More than 7?
Yeah, no, we got to all of them except one that we wanted to do, the cheetah hunt, which I've done many times before, which is one that has a rapid acceleration at the beginning. It goes from 0 to like 90 miles an hour in 4 seconds. That gives you like 4 G's, G-force.
That was like Lubie leaving the station in his Hyundai.
Yeah. But the one that really got to me, first of all, they have one called Shikra, which is fantastic. Which is the one that kind of goes all the way up. You get this stunning view of Tampa, and then it kind of like gives you this stutter step as you think you're going to be taking this huge drop, but it kind of suspends you. They stop it like right when you're starting to fall, and it
by design
by design. It freaks people out if they're first timers, but it's a really good thrill. That one was great, very smooth and fun ride. But they have a new one that they built in 2019, so it was my first time experience it. It's called Tigris. It's like the whole Busch Gardens. They have all these animal preserves, and they have things with elephants, and they have hyenas, and then they have a little part that has tigers. But this Tigris, I guess they pronounce it. It's a roller coaster that slingshots forward and then stops, and then slingshots backwards. Ooh. So that's the one that got me.
Oh, you got a little whiplash on that. You weren't expecting that.
First timer, I saw what the ride was designed to do, because as you stand,
any warnings, written around the entranceway,
all over, like
watch out for this.
If you're elderly, if you're in, ill health, if you have high blood pressure, if you're pregnant, if you, it basically, I guess they do give fair warnings, but the bottom line is, usually when I go on roller coasters, I relax and I keep my head back, and I just try to keep it, squared back to the thing. This one, because of that rear slingshot effect, it pulls your head forward. It snaps it forward. It's a total whiplash thing, and then it goes forward again, and then you go dipsy doodle, and it was severe. And when my daughter got off that ride, she had a green look on her face, like that the dinner from the night before at the Columbia restaurant was going to come right back on her. So
I want to hear more about that than her throwing up. That's interesting that you would pay all that money to be tormented like that.
That's my problem.
Do they have any other rides besides roller coasters? I mean,
you're talking to a
merry-go-round or something?
Yeah, they have carousels. Carousels are the worst. That makes me throw up right away. They're just spinning in circles. That's much worse than any roller coaster. Yeah, they have.
It reminds me, though, of my experiences at the track, because most of my horses just go around in circles like that, and they never gain any ground. I mean, no matter how close they are to the other one.
I had that feeling yesterday at Gulfstream. But getting back to Tampa, so it's kind of twin parks that are run by the same outfit. There's a full-scale water park across the street, a little bit further, up the block, that has all the big water slides and things like that on a hot summer day. I think a lot of people are going there.
Fun. Yeah.
But at Busch Gardens itself now, besides having the beer festival ongoing every weekend through September, which I didn't catch any of that, but I did have a good craft beer from the Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
Oh, I thought it was just all Busch beer.
No. They have everything.
Like you could either get, Budweiser or,
That's not Busch anymore. Busch or Busch Light or no, they have a whole variety of beers and local breweries up there. They have Cigar City Brewing Company. They have Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
They make Highlight beer up there.
Yeah,
which
that
is a big favorite of the professor.
It's good stuff. So,
yeah.
But that's for the adults. For the kids, they have things like the Flume ride and some other, like, go on the river rafting ride, the Congo River Rapids, they call it. So it's not all roller coasters. They have some other things that are also for the younger kids and the ones that aren't as tall. But
big question would be concessions. I mean, what kind of food did they have on the grounds there, if any?
Not very good. I mean, it was expensive.
No?
They had a pizza place that all you can eat fried chicken buffet that I mentioned is no longer there.
Because it was a value. Yeah.
Yeah, much to my chagrin. No, and actually, it was so darn hot, I couldn't eat anything, and neither could my daughter. We just hydrated the whole day. At one point, I had like an ice cream cone, one of those, just Haagen-Dazs on a stick that they sell. Just because I needed.
What was that, about $8?
Yeah, it was like $6 or whatever.
That's all. That's a bargain.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not. They didn't gouge you as bad as Disney. Like a bottle of water was, I think, $3 and change. We got 2 waters for like, it's almost $8. We were guzzling.
This
water.
had to be 40 years ago, almost 35. Those little Mickey Mouse ice cream pops with the 2 chocolate ears. When they were going for $8, well, they wouldn't. 1990. That was a disgrace.
They wouldn't sell a Mickey Mouse ear ice cream pop at Busch Gardens. That would only be at
No,
Disney.
but I mean, at
and
Disney, yeah.
and DeSantis banned that anyway. DeSantis has banned any Disney paraphernalia anywhere in the state.
How packed was it? It is primetime summer, but it's also
what's going on?
It was a Saturday. Me and my daughter, our strategy was get there right when it opened at 10. Before
You crashed the gates like you were at the racetrack back in the early
basically
70s there, where you were waiting at 12 for them to
got
open
there
up
at
the gate?
opening.
Yeah.
It's great because some of the rides, some of the nice coasters, there's literally no wait, and you could ride a couple of times. We went
good.
to one, but the one that we wanted to get out of the way quick because we know it gets really crowded later in the day is that Cheetah Hunt one, and it was out of service at the beginning of the day. They said it was, they were doing some sort of maintenance or technical thing, so that
Repairing
was a bummer.
the track. Yeah, that would be a sign that I wanted to skip that.
And the problem on one of these hot days is that the systems get so heated up, they have to cool off the hydraulic systems and the braking and emergency systems every so often. So they have to kind of shut the rides once every, so often, every hour for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then the lines back up even more. But let me tell you about the low point of my existence came at Busch Gardens on Saturday. I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, and of course roller coasters, there's ups and downs, but it basically happened Saturday, guys. The lowest point of my existence as a result of my eating. I finally hit the wall of fat, and this is what happened, guys.
No.
You know what you say?
No.
What's the worst thing that could, the most embarrassing that could happen? Embarrassing thing that can happen.
Thing on the seatbelt on a
Extender
plane.
thing on a seatbelt on an airplane. Well, this was worse. I wanted to ride one of the roller coasters there that me and my daughter have done. That's not the most fierce. It's a good ride. It has loops and stuff. We wanted to ride in the front car to get that full Daredevil experience.
Oh no!
We go up to the front car.
No.
I sit down.
You with the roll in the back?
Harness,
Is that what they said? Yeah.
Pull down the harness. Try to get the belt, the buckle up to the harness. And then
I thought they made you step on a scale before you got in there.
No. But what it is at the front, it said people with chests. They said chests over 52 inches, but it's chests and bellies.
Yes. Stormy Daniels could not sit in the front car.
They have to ride in rows 4 and 5. So after
you had to go to an emergency room
after the harness wouldn't buckle. The attendant just kind of gives me the 2 fingers and like, you got to get up, sir, and move to the rear. And
oh my God! And some
to the
skinny
back
guy
of the
came
bus.
in and sat next to your daughter.
Yes, and I went to row number 4, and actually, even in row number 4, the one that's on the aisle, like on the edge, that one didn't fit. You have to go into the center one that has the double buckle that comes all the way up, and I was like, oh my God, it's time. I'm officially so fat.
And you had the big dinner the night before or after? Was that Saturday night?
It was that was the night before on Friday.
Okay.
But again, it was just it was disgusting.
No, that's
embarrassing.
There's no question.
It was embarrassing, and my daughter, she just gave me the eye roll and the look afterwards, like, "Okay, Dad, now you know what you got."
What would have been great is if the person that was telling you had to go to row 4 and said, "Hey, listen, I've been watching Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on Let's Eat South Florida, and the way you're eating, kid, you ain't getting in that seat."
So the other thing I noticed is that there's not a lot of. I mean, there are some big burly dudes out there that go on these roller coaster rides, but it seems like it's a young person's game. A lot of teen girls, a lot of
most adults realize that it's not the kind of thing that you really want to be engaged in.
I love it.
I mean, look, you came back a hurting pup. I mean, you were on a physically unable to perform list by Saturday
I was totally
night.
able to perform. Yes. For all of yesterday.
We didn't need to know all of those details. We were just talking about meeting this young lady at lunch.
Okay, now you got me flustered. Okay.
I treat you like I like to give you an early prelude to Dick Steen's call on Tuesday. No, I know that's unfortunate, but I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's a roller coaster, so it isn't like you had to get on a plane there and you're overlapping 2 seats like the guy that was sitting next to me on my way to Atlantic City. And, you're trying to grab the seatbelt and you realize that he's got yours and his hooked together.
Yeah, but it's not a moment to be proud of. And it's just, again, one of those things that,
Did it trigger something like where you're thinking, okay, that's it?
It's
Yeah.
time to lose some
Okay.
weight.
Good.
Yeah, you fat
Keto,
F.
grapes. What do you got today?
I don't know. It's going to be some salads. I had a salad for dinner last night, and
Well, we see where your conscience is, though. I mean, you're sending me pictures of the Skyline Chili pool float, which I would imagine you've had a few of those occur in your
no,
lifetime.
I have not. I've not had any Skyline chili recently. Oh, well, I did out of the can the other week, but no, I sent you. I guess there's a promotion. There's like a National Chili Dog Day coming up, and
Oh, yeah.
Skyline has some sort of special going where you could buy one of their pool floaties, and I just thought you would get a kick out of that. Maybe
Well,
I'll
I
get
mean,
that.
like I said, I can imagine that there have been several in the Mayo pool.
Maybe I'll get you one for your birthday present, a little belated birthday present. the
That's
Sky-
okay. No,
if
I
you-
have another one coming up next July. You can kind of hedge off until then. All right, I'm
so-
curious about these restaurants though, because the Ybor City scene there is supposed to
Yes.
be. You talk about your authentic, Mike Mayo, authentic Cuban cuisine and Spanish stuff. I mean, isn't that the epicenter of it in Tampa, in the state of Florida?
Yeah, and this was a real treat because we got up there, about checked into the hotel at about 6 o'clock, and we met up with our friends, and we went onto the campus of University of South Florida and walked around a little bit because my daughter.
What's that look like? Would you send a
It's
kid there?
nice. No,
Yeah.
I like that campus a lot,
Okay.
and it's very close to Busch Gardens too. So if you go to school there, you get an annual pass and just to blow off some steam by drinking beer and riding roller coasters. But the campus was lovely, and we walked around the grounds. It was steamy, and then we found out that the girl's family that we were visiting, they made arrangements to go to Columbia Restaurant in Ybor City. Is it Ybor City? Ybor City?
Ybor. Yeah,
Ybor
Ybor City.
Ybor City. Which
My
of
friend,
course-
the fight doctor, Freddie Pacheco, wrote a book, Ybor City Chronicles. I think he
Yeah.
did pretty well with it.
Great for
Yeah.
cigars.
It's where it's famous for a whole influx of Cuban immigrants and all kinds of cigar factories and all kinds of great Cuban food and a melting pot. And what I learned, and I had never been to the Columbia restaurant, it's sprouted into kind of a mini regional chain. There's one in another part of Tampa, there's one in St. Augustine. There was one in West Palm Beach at City Place for a while, but that one shut down. But this was the original. And it was really a treat because it opened up in 1905. It is the oldest restaurant in Florida. It beats Joe's Stone Crab by 8 years because Joe's
Wow.
opened in 1913. And similar to Joe's, it's family owned and operated since its inception. It's now on the 5th generation operating it.
Oh, nice.
It like Joe's, it is a classy, like it's white linen, tablecloths. Tuxedo clad servers are roaming around with these huge trays of food. Obviously, they don't have stone crab. They have more of the Cuban and Spanish food. They do paellas and empanadas and croquetas, and they have great fish dishes. So the food was a treat, and they had this flamenco show that was also like, in addition, they have one room where they put on flamenco shows a couple of times a night. It was an $8 supplement, and it was well worth it because you get a little bit of the culture and a little music and dance, and that was nice. And the overall experience was lovely, not except for, I was told that in the 1940s, their main dining room became they installed air conditioning there. It was the first air conditioned dining room in Tampa. And they charged patrons an extra $1, which back then is real money. That's like spending another 20, 25
40s
bucks.
was big, yes.
So, and I just said, it's a good thing Let's Eat South Florida wasn't around then because
would've
they would have been
destroyed this
griping
place.
about,
Yeah.
never would have made it.
They would have burned it to the ground. The Let's See South
Yeah,
Florida crowd. Are you kidding me? They would have had it bulldozed for that.
But this begs the question: like nowadays, with this extreme heat, would you pay an extra $5 for good air
$5?
conditioning?
I don't know. I probably consider it somewhat insulting that they were suggesting that, but you have to consider that there was no other place with air conditioning.
Right.
So this was so unique that maybe it justified the extra. What would be a fin? Maybe a 10 spot today.
Places wouldn't get away with it now. Although, if you see the way FPL bills are rising, like mine last month, it hit incredible new heights. And you wonder if some restaurants will add a electricity air conditioning surcharge to cover their higher bills if they keep it.
Imagine how much
cool.
it's spiked at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's really this is part of why restaurant bills keep going up, and they don't necessarily go down when the food prices drop, because a bunch of food prices have dropped since the pandemic. Chicken prices are down, egg prices are down, things like wheat. Flour and oils have kind of stabilized, but you don't see the menu prices come down because things like insurance and the electricity, the utilities, that has not come down. So it's a real tricky balancing act for restaurants, and I feel for them. But meanwhile, Colombia was great. I had a great time, and a really good fish dish there. That the fish selection, it kind of reminded me of Seville. They did all these different fish, local fresh fish preparations in kind of unique ways. And what I had was they called it the snapper a la Rubia, not Marco Rubio, but a la Rubia. Snapper a la Rubio would have been flip flopping all over the place, right? That's
no, he doesn't flip flop. It only had one fin on the right. That would have been it.
Well, you know what? I opened it up to the political humor there, so that's on me. The a la Rubia.
I think if I saw Marco Rubio eating at a restaurant, I don't care how famous or how well established or long established it was, I probably would say, you know what? I'd rather pay $20 for air conditioning than see this.
I'd rather pay a supplement not to see.
I don't know if my appetite hasn't completely, been vanquished by the sight of this man.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the fish, it was basically like a seared piece of fresh, I think it was red snapper that they do with these coated with the seasoned breadcrumbs, so it kind of forms this crunchy outer
whole fish or fillet?
It's a fillet of snapper. Right. It was expertly filleted, a nice piece, probably about 6 ounces. Nice. And it had this crust of this seared seasoned breadcrumbs, and on top of it, it was this crumble, a scattered shower of, like you get the chopped egg whites when you order caviar. It's just the little egg whites itself. That's what they have on top, mixed in with fresh chopped parsley. So it was like a parsley egg white scattered topping on top of these seasoned breadcrumbs that are seared on the fish, and then on the side of some yellow rice. It was great. It was a great dish. And pretty reasonably priced. They're, some of their main courses are only in the 20s, and the fish dish was like 32. So very, considering you're getting the history and a really classy joint, the building itself is very impressive. Seats 1,700, including all the banquet rooms and stuff. Crazy.
Was it pretty much full, or?
Well, it's the summertime. It wasn't
a lot of people.
It wasn't like, mid-season crazy, but it was pretty full. It's a Friday night. And again, first time experience for me. I've been to Burns Steakhouse many times, but I'd never been to Columbia in Ybor City. And I do recommend to anybody who's heading up to that area, check it out, because it's a good
How was it walking around there? Were there a lot of places that you might have walked into? Is it kind of like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where you can go into a dozen places and be fine?
It was pretty.
Yeah, this restaurant is a few blocks off where that main drag of kind of the touristy, some bars and nightclubs and the cigar rolling, establishments are. We were too tired and stuffed to walk up and down that street afterwards because I had a long day on Friday. So me and my daughter just went back to the hotel, and we got a good night's rest before the day of riding roller coasters. But fantastic little one-day getaway. We rode back on Saturday night because we didn't want to start driving on Sunday morning, not with the big brunch bash. And my daughter went to the Rolling Loud Festival yesterday. That's the big rap and hip-hop festival they had out at the Hard Rock Stadium complex. I didn't get the full report from her, but she's alive, and she's at her friend's house in Miami Beach, and apparently had a great time. And that thing went till almost 1 a.m. They went out there at 5 p.m. yesterday, went partying all night, listening to the music till 1 a.m. So that was a full weekend for the Mayo household.
Pretty solid by you. Yeah.
Now, look, I know we got a lot of stuff to do. I want to ask one thing of Lubie. I understand, welcome to the Lubie family. What is the name of the husky, the dog?
Wolf.
And Wolf. Wolf is the newest member. You also have 2 cats. So
I have one cat. We're
one cat.
Full up. We're full. I have Cecilia and Wolf, and I'm done.
And when's the baby coming?
Hopefully in the next couple of years. God, I don't know.
I was asked about that this weekend also by Jesse and his wife.
Yeah,
he said, when is there going to be a little Lubie? And I said, it has to be in the works. It has to be coming soon, no?
Hopefully in the next year, yeah.
Instead, he's got a big wolf that's leaving big turds all over the house. I understand there was a little mishap this morning. That's regrettable.
It's just every day. It's just a lot. He's 2, but he acts like a puppy, and he's full of energy, and I'm exhausted.
What do you eat? Do you feed him like just Alpo out of a can or dry
It's
food, or
dry food.
because now people have gotten crazy with the way they not only bringing their dogs to every restaurant and putting them up at the bar and having them eat like regular food. Like you don't go for that pet fresh stuff in the refrigerated section.
It's a higher level of stuff. Like a bag was like $50. It's annoying, but it's healthy science diet. It's not like Defo gets some fancy food made for his dog, which is fine. They're older dogs. I get it. He's a young pup. It's not Alpo, but because some of that stuff is actually really bad for them. So it's not that. It's good for the dog. It's the vet cleared it, but it is just dry.
Vets though, I mean, you hate to think that there are unscrupulous vets, and I don't know what level of what would it be, Mike Mayo, unscrupularity?
Unscrupulous.
This would be well, but they get a little stoop from the pet food places to push certain things as if they were super healthy, and they may not be. I actually go to a place, Mike Mayo. You should walk in there because you would think to ask for a table for two more so than food for your dog. And it's called Meals for Dogs. It's located on Oakland Park and Federal, and I would have to recommend it 1,000% because both of my dogs, and you never know, what their background was when you rescue a dog. Both of them had a variety of different reactions to the various foods we were feeding them. And since we've been feeding them this stuff, which is all natural and made fresh there, they rarely, if ever, have had any kind of a health problem in years and years now that we've been doing it.
Good testimony. Look,
Meals for Dogs, I recommend it 1,000%.
Healthy.
You could eat this stuff, Mike Mayo. You might be tempted to. Like if you went to the fridge, somehow middle of the night and there wasn't much else there, you would be tempted to eat the beef macaroni that I feed my dogs.
No, well, who knows? I guess I could mistake it for.
I mean, it has certain, elements in there, that dogs obviously need. But other than that, it's actual natural food, which is terrific.
I guess I could mistake it for Skyline Chili, and I was wondering, have you ever?
It's better than Skyline Chili by far. Way better.
You sampled your dog's food?
No, but I just looking at it and seeing the way they prepare it, I know it's better than Skyline.
And here's,
Chili.
I guess, a question for both of you. Like, have you ever, or would you attempt to maybe see if your dog liked Skyline Chili and fed it to them for a little bit?
No, I would never do that to my dogs. I love them too much.
Because the deleterious effects it has on the human digestive tract, so you wouldn't even want to see the results.
But by its nature, it's not something you want to feed to a dog. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
I wouldn't treat a dog the way you treated me. That's the old Mike Zito song.
By its nature, that's a phrase I heard a lot on Saturday at the amusement park. They had this recorded speaker saying, "By its very nature, these rides create forces that
teacup
kill
rides.
you."
Did they have a teacup ride? Did you challenge
those
that?
Are the worst.
I used to love that.
Teacup rides. Hey, we'll get into the recap of the Gulfstream event after. I want to do a little. Let's do our first wave of spots, and then we'll draw a contest winner, 13.5 this week.
Wow!
And we'll also give the full
was it chalk again?
Recap. Yeah, it was chalk again. Actually, It was your numbers, Cold 7-5, which 75? We talked about on Friday's show. Number 7, Charlie's Wish, won. Number 5, my pick, Flakes, was second. Stone Cold birthday exacta for Defo 7-5 returned $8.40 for $1.
That was the exacta. Oh, for $1. All right.
If you had it 10 times, you would have got $80. You could have had that 10 times. So, but that was, again, we got 13.5 after all those chalk eating pigs just keep eating the chalk, and the chalk keeps winning. So that's good.
It's a contest, strategy that's been working. So you can't really knock the people for using it, right? Ride the hot hand.
Gotta be in it to win.
Ride the hot hand.
Gotta eat. That's it. Hey, talking about hot hands. Tomorrow, it's going to be Lunchbox history. It's going to be the moment I've been waiting for because they've been on board as sponsors from the beginning, humble beginnings on the radio, which is not the best platform for a food show when you want to see all the food and the delicious food and eat it.
It would have been if radio hadn't become relatively extinct.
Yeah,
I mean, in the back in the day, it was a great idea.
No. I mean, look, we are such wordsmiths here. Defo, the veteran broadcaster, me, the prize-winning critic.
Oh, you got a compliment, by the way, for your writing, and it had nothing to do with food or Let's Eat South Florida or any of your sarcasm or cynicism. My son's wife, the lovely Kelly, had said, did Mike Mayo write other stuff besides food? I said, yeah, he did sports, and he was like a city desk guy for a while, editorial guy. And she had read your article about the time that you witnessed the execution.
Yes,
said that you write very well. She said, "Wow,
Thank
he's
you.
a very good writer." And I
I,
said, "Yeah, I mean,
I
you should see him eat. Then you might tarnish your opinion of the guy, but nonetheless, I would have to acknowledge that. Yes, very good writer and very versatile, obviously."
Well, tell her thank you. I did make a good living doing the writing, the scribbling thing for a while, and now I just spew verbal bouquets from my mouth, and it's a lot easier.
You've come up with
On
some
the
stuff. Did you go see the
song.
Barbie movie? I thought you were going to throw that in as part of your
Not
weekend
yet.
itinerary.
That's
Yeah.
next weekend. I'm going to catch up on movies. I'm going to go see Oppenheimer, and
Oppenheimer.
maybe
Things.
Barbie next
No,
week.
really?
This
You're going to
weekend,
go see Barbie?
Sure,
Wow.
Barbie, but I've heard Oppenheimer.
I don't want to be
Ooh.
seen coming out of that. I mean, even if I was taking, like, if I had a granddaughter, I don't know if I would take her.
we'll take it under advisement. I don't know. It's a cultural phenomenon. I
Well,
guess
who's going
I
to
would-
see this, though? I mean, little kids don't know anything
millions
about
of
Barbie.
people.
Now,
It
grown-ups
did
know
the
this.
biggest box office opening since the beginning of the pandemic. 155 million for the opening weekend. Oppenheimer, not too shabby for a 3-hour biopic about the nuclear gloom and doom. Did 80 million, which shocked a lot of the studios. It was good.
Yeah.
So a big weekend for movie going.
They thought it was going to
I
be a
had no
bomb.
part of it. I was
Sorry. Lousy pun there, Mayo. I don't want to stop you in
I
your
got
tracks.
it.
Yeah.
I
Took
got
you a
it.
while.
It's
Took
good.
you a
It was good. I like it. All right, and you know what else is good? Our first visit to Tropical Acres coming
Yeah, I'm
tomorrow.
excited.
Unfortunately, the restaurant is not open for lunch service, so our viewers cannot come and attend. But you can tune in tomorrow because Jack Studiali is going to be kind of opening, especially for us. We're going to be in there in the dining room talking to him and his son Joe and Jackson, and we're going to be hearing about that nice past. It's a heartwarming tale of how Jack ended up kind of taking Jackson under his wing. A local youth who was raised by a single mother who has now become a manager and partner of of Tropical Acres with the Studialis, and the Studialis are just great people. Looking forward to also enjoying some of the food that they will be preparing for us. And I put in a little special request. I don't know if they could get prime rib done in time for the show, because usually that's one of those slow roasting things that takes all day. But certainly can fire up the grill, get a couple.
They could
of
save a
beautiful
piece
filet
from the night before, man, and I'd be okay with that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll warm it up. Maybe put it in some of the au jus and put it in a little skillet and warm it up, or throw it in one of their ovens. But Tropical Acres, you should get in there, meaning you people out there, because tonight and tomorrow, half price wine night. They have so much good stuff going on there. Somebody else just posted a review on Let's Eat, and I know it is the most it's the most discussed placed. Not it is
Be
a
careful.
place that
Yeah,
on Let's
yeah,
Eat.
all right.
Yeah, not I. All right, let's talking about most talked about.
There
That's
you
a
go.
better way to phrase it. Yes. And again, another positive rave review from somebody who hadn't been there before, just raving about the service and also the quality, the selection, and the value. I mean, you could get out of there on this half price wine night. You get a nice bottle of wine. You could get yourself a piece of prime rib and one of those twin lobster specials that's ongoing. $39 for 2 whole steamed Maine lobsters with a salad and side dish. You get all those things for like $100, which is absurd for a high quality steakhouse experience. It's been around since 1949. We love them. They're at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania Beach, just west of the airport in 95. We're going to be in there tomorrow talking to the Studialis about what it's like to operate this place that's been going for, again, generations, 70-something years. And they talk about having big crowds. They also, during the season, they pack them in. They do, I think, 1,500 different covers a night, along with banquets and all that. They will take great care of you. They know what they're doing. Tropical Acres, tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Iconic, classic place. In fact, Friday when we were at Gulfstream, I ran into Joey Savage, the son of Bob Savage, and we were talking about what a great place this was and how Sam Studiali was on board very early on. Well, it was like the first guy to sign up when Savage wanted to do the race replay show, and that's the kind of people they are. I mean, very loyal, and the loyalty of their customers certainly reciprocates all of the great things they've done over the years there at Tropical Acres. Can't wait to get there. I love just being around Jack Studiali. Don't you pick up a little bit? You feel like you have to upgrade your game a little bit, don't you, Mike Mayo?
Yeah.
I feel
You don't
like
want
I
to
might
be a
have to
schlep
wear.
around Jack Studiali.
I think I'm going to put on a nice pair of shoes and some slacks that are pressed, and maybe a
You
a
have
buttoned up
slacks
shirt.
that are pressable?
You have-
After that,
Says the man who wears shorts to every
That's it.
remote
I
that
mean,
we
come
do.
on. Yeah, I mean that's the way it goes here on the Lunchbox. All right, we're coming
it's
back
hot
with
outside.
more Mike Mayo tales from Ybor City in a moment.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. It is a Monday. We got another big week coming up. A couple of notes before we get back into the chronicles of the weekend adventures. But congratulations to Tom T, celebrating 2 years in business with Tom's Louisiana Kitchen.
Nice.
He just started on a lark because I guess he was bored, semi-retirement, and you can't keep a good man down or out of the kitchen or creating. And his mind, obviously, is always got the creative juices flowing, and then that translates to some real juices flowing in terms of the salivary glands. And we missed the big celebration because of conflicts that we had this weekend, but we were there in spirit, and I did see Tom T last week when he made a pilgrimage back to his home stomping grounds of Hollywood and had some delicious lasagna and, of course, those muffalettas. So good job, Tom T. I'm sure we'll be seeing you somewhere soon, and I hope all the folks who came out to celebrate his second anniversary enjoyed themselves. And also, probably pretty soon, anybody who eats his food will also be relegated to rows 4 and 5 on the on the roller coasters because it is so good you can't stop eating it. Also, another note: we were supposed to be today with our friend Pat Utter at Shenanigans. He had a little mishap. He is now on the disabled list, injured reserve. He's up in Canada rehabbing. Had a little incident a couple of weeks ago, and I know we wanted to talk to Pat about the start of preseason football. He's a huge Dolphins fan, and was going to go in there and hopefully talk, Tua and the whole Dolphins saga and big question marks. But he took a little stumble. Apparently, his son, and I don't mean to out or embarrass anybody, but teenage kid who is playing some football at Chaminade Madonna, but in the garage left some equipment or something out in the middle of the garage, and Pat was working on something, didn't see it, and just tripped over this stuff, and he took a tumble that he messed up his shoulder and back. So he is basically up in the nice cooler climate of Quebec with his wife's family, and he's just chilling out and recovering for a few weeks. So we're going to do a show over there in August once there are actually some preseason games unfold. So we'll talk Dolphins football with Pat Utter at Shenanigans in sometime in the next few weeks. But meanwhile, it is almost football season. I kind of like the way the Dolphins are just not even bothering to really drill or practice or do anything. The whole rest of the league is like already, pulling hamstrings and getting guys out. I like this approach because really, how much do you need to work out in this heat? Just like, you get a couple of those workouts in with another team. You get a couple of those preseason games under your belt. Don't get hurt. Don't get concussed, and then just let the real stuff begin. So I kind of like the Mike McDaniel approach. We'll see if it works.
We'll see.
Anyway, Defo, back to yesterday. What you missed. This was shocking. There was stuff happening yesterday. There's a couple of things we learned. Number one, the professor Ken is just adorable with kids. He's like a regular Mr. Rogers and a Bozo the Clown rolled into one. He's cracking jokes. He's
making little animal balloons. It's great.
He had all this age-appropriate humor, and the girls, like the family that he brought, these kids were like better than I don't know who's the best handy. It's better than Andy Bayer and Len Regenson combined. The kid was just picking winners. And it was incredible to watch. And she started off her role with a 10-1 shot. Cindy Lou Who, who I was told is a Dr. Seuss character. Right?
Who from the Grinch? The one
From the Grinch.
the main character in the Grinch.
Yes. So kids cashing tickets. I couldn't cash anything all day, and I'm shooting her dirty looks. But after a while, I was like, I'll have what she's having, whatever she's picking. I tried to hop aboard, but that was fun. That was impressive. That's one thing that we learned, Defo. The other thing we learned, Joe C. does not like gambling. He didn't bet a lick.
Joe Casal was there?
Oh, it was Joe Casal was the one that wasn't happy and wanted to go?
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He turned into Sarnie in the middle of the session.
He was not into it at all. I was like, just put $2 to win. I was like, nope, he has no part of that. He's a man, I guess, who what's the word? Frugal or wise, sensible with his funds. And Bonnie was there, and Bonnie loves the track because her late husband Richie was course, called him, we called him Richie Bomsey, like your Henry Bombsaway Bomsey. But he was the half staff handicapper for the Sun Sentinel and would send in his picks for all the racing days at Gulfstream and all the tracks in South Florida for a while. And Richie is like you, unlike you, Defo. Part of his remains are scattered at Gulfstream,
Wow.
but not at the 16th line. We put it, I think Bonnie scattered them right near the winner's circle because Richie was a winner and we do miss him. So
the quarter pole might be more appropriate now. I'm starting to move it back where I want my ashes buried, in conjunction with where all my horses got buried. And, pretty soon it'll be at the gate. So you guys might have to work your way around to the backstretch. Contact Billy Badgett, see if that's cool.
The other thing we learned is, and I did see Billy out there yesterday,
Very nice.
and he looked happy, and it was good. He's always good to us. So he's the president of Gulfstream now and runs the racing operations.
Yep.
Great job. Other things we learned, one of the people that came out, Amy Morantz, contest winner, went to the same, she grew up in the same neighborhood, actually started off on the same block as me, and we went to the same elementary school, and we had the same first grade teacher, Mrs. Vogel. We were just talking about everything that went down at PS 236. So that was a hoot. And the other thing we learned, or actually not learned, but I forgot momentarily, because, we are entitled to one complimentary mimosa when you go for the Sunday brunch there at Ten Palms. And I looked at Valerie and I said, "Would you want a mimosa?" She shot me the look. And then all of a sudden I remembered she's allergic to oranges.
Oh,
orange
I thought she didn't drink.
Oh, no. She drinks. So she just drank straight up champagne, which is fine and dandy in my world. And but that momentary, I forgot something that I know well. Allergic to carrots and oranges. Those like two orange things. I don't know. It's just it happens. Do you have any food allergies besides Skyline chili?
No, I'm not allergic to Skyline chili. I just think it's a warped concept, much like soccer. Soccer's a game. Does it involve sporting action? Yes. I mean, is it something that you want to play? No. But
it's incredible because, the Marlins have gone totally in the tank. I guess maybe they ate some Skyline chili because they've lost 8 out of 9, and they
should have them as a sponsor. Never mind the Reds.
Just as soon as they the Marlins think that they might be going places, then the All-Star break. It's terrible. And who would have thunk it that in South Florida in this day and age, that if you had the choice of going to a Marlins game, a Dolphins preseason game, or a soccer Inter Miami, MLS game, that the MLS game would be the hands down choice of me anyway. I know you hate soccer, but that was pretty thrilling.
I try not to hate it, but I did watch some. In honor of Jim Sarney, I tried to watch some of that women's game against Vietnam. And I'm going, this game is absolutely stupid. It's like the dumbest game I've ever seen. The way it's conducted, everybody's always talking about this chess match strategy. I don't see any strategy. I see a bunch of people running around aimlessly. Literally, just running up and down with nothing happening. Guy dribbles between, one of these women, they dribble between 16 people. They get to the goal mouth, and then they miss the goal by a mile, even though it's the size of the Grand Canyon. It really amazes me that people, could possibly embrace this as one of the great sports of all time.
Oh, and you know what else I completely missed? This is the first in my life, Defo. The British Open was conducted last weekend, and I did not watch one single solitary hole.
Interesting
of the
tournament,
coverage.
but the guy ran away. This Brian Harman ran away with it.
Like the whole time.
I had no idea who this guy is. All I know that from
good story.
Sonny,
you could have written a nice story about
he's
this
a lefty.
guy. Yeah, he's actually does everything else righty, except golf.
Really?
That's the
weird.
only thing that he does left-handed.
I play golf left-handed. I do everything.
You probably came across this guy, though. He's been around a long time. I didn't even realize it because, I might have seen him. I wasn't really that familiar with him until obviously he was, being featured shot after shot on the Open coverage. But he started his PGA career when he was 17. So this goes back, what would that be? 19 years he's been at it. So he might have been around when you were covering golf.
No, actually, it was more than 20 years ago that I left
Okay,
the
all
sports
right.
department, so I have no idea. Where's this guy from originally? Is he?
Don't know. He's an avid outdoorsman. It was one of the things I picked up, and hey, he stayed pretty steady because there were a couple of times it looked like he was coming back to the pack. You're expecting the guy that's never won before at that level to
All
eventually
right.
crumble, but he stayed ahead of the pace and won by 6
Roy,
shots.
Royal Liverpool is like the worst of the golf courses on the Open Championship Rota. I mean, in terms of like just
Degree of difficulty,
nobody.
or
No, just in terms of nobody knows about it, nobody cares
yeah.
about it. Even Royal St. George's has more of a fan base than Royal Liverpool, except I guess for Beatles fans, because it is in the town that spawned the Beatles. But you can't beat those Scottish
They
courses.
played in
the
like
old course
a
at St.
pouring
Andrews.
rain yesterday, and they played as if
Oh,
it was
good.
sunny, and that they were playing the Phoenix
That's the way
Open.
they're
Yeah, it
supposed
was
to.
amazing.
All right, we got to get this contest out of the way. We got 13 in the hat. Again, the winning restaurant was Barry's Grill, Baires, like
Great.
Buenos
Yeah.
Aires. Barry's Grill. There's 5 or 6 of them around South Florida now, and we were talking about the one on Las Olas where Messi and the Argentine soccer team ate before the World Cup. They were there for a friendly in September, and who knows, Messi might be in there again if he's hanging out a lot up in Broward, and I guess house hunting up in Dickstein's neighborhood. I think Delray and Boca might be getting the Messi family. I think it's a good place to raise kids and a little bit more privacy for international superstars if you want to live in a gated community in a mansion or something along the water. We'll see.
Dickstein's in a
But,
mansion up there.
well, I don't know. He's
All right.
he's a man of wealth and
some
taste.
means.
Uh,
All right.
so here we go. We're gonna draw one of these 13 out of the hat now. We've got 5 who were in there last week. A lot of people are repeat in the hat. They keep coming close, and also we've got 2 previous winners in there. And here we go. I'm gonna go in the hat now, and I'm gonna pick out a name, and the winner is Kevin Baxter.
Nice.
Kevin
First
Baxter.
time winner, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
First time winner. Has not been in there before.
Nice job.
So, congratulations,
Nice, Kevin.
Kevin
Congrats.
Baxter. You are the winner
That's amazing.
of this week's 10 Palms Brunch Buffet. You and a guest will enjoy an all-inclusive brunch, including a mimosa, tax, and gratuity at fabulous Gulfstream Park. I'll send you an email with all the details, and you too can play. We'll be doing it again this Friday at Gulfstream. Hey, Dine Out Lauderdale is coming up. And we are excited about it because later in the week, we'll be going out to Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor because they're taking part this year because it's not just for the fancy frou-frou restaurants, although there's scores of Greater Fort Lauderdale's best restaurants are taking part where you're going to get these great value multi-course dinners at a discount. And our friends at Aruba Beach Cafe and Even Keel are taking part. But also some of the neighborhood places and cafes and brunch spots and even ice cream parlors like Jackson's will be taking part in the annual food fest known as Dine Out Lauderdale. To get more details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com. It's going on from August 1st through 31st. And Linda Zackheim, the owner there, finalizing. It's the everything under the sun for one. It's their miniature version of their kitchen sink, and it's going to be a really nice treat. We're going to be unveiling it on Thursday's show this week. We'll be out at Jackson's, and hopefully we'll get Stacy Ritter from Visit Lauderdale, the head of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau, scheduled to come out and join us with Linda Zack
Nice.
at Jackson's to set up the whole great Dine Out Lauderdale festivities. Again, go to dineoutlauderdale.com to check out all the participating restaurants. It's going to be great values, great food, great fun, great times. And the Lunchbox is happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
Kitchen sink, man. That was a tall order. That was like the steak at Shula's Steakhouse, where you got your name on the wall, or if you could eat like 30 dozen oysters at Acme, if you could eat the kitchen sink at Jan's on Long Island, you got your name permanently etched in fame. It was fantastic. All right, coming back, we'll wrap up this Monday edition of the Lunchbox, cruising along with Mike Mayo, very mellow Mike Mayo, in a moment.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. a place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone: seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com. And we're back on the Lunchbox to wrap it up. Got in the kind words for our friends over at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Had another great time out there last week, and my mom ate up the last of that swordfish that they grilled. It was delicious, and you're going to find yourself all the great, freshest treats from the sea and also land. They have great poultry and steaks, meats, sausages, pork loins, and everything that you can want for your family grill, for supper time, weekends, weeknights. It's all there at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7. We love going in there. You will too. They take great care of everybody. Again, old school values. They know everybody. They are well staffed, whether it's your first time or if you've been going there for 30 years like myself. They will take great care of you. open every day. Go to DelawareChicken.com for the weekly specials and the daily offerings. What's just been brought in fresh from the seas. I know this time of year, a grouper is coming in from the Gulf. They got all kinds of great shrimp coming in from the Keys and the Gulf. And of course, in a few days, few weeks, August 6th will be the start of the Florida lobster season. Get those big and beautiful sweet tails. That tail meat is it's delicious and it's easy to grill up. A little bit of that butter, garlic, lime butter. Can't beat it. Simplicity, beautiful, perfection. That's the Delaware way. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right. I think that's it, guys. You going to be playing any races from Degenerate Tracks today?
I was
Parks
just watching the
Thistle
first
Down?
at Parks. $95 winner there.
Oh, God. What were the numbers?
861, 50 cent try, 635. All you had to do was back wheel the even money favorite, and you're off to a brilliant start.
Nobody
Imagine
cares.
it would have cost you about $20.
Bonnie's number is number 8. That was Richie's number. So Bonnie would have had
She'd have
it.
been all over this. In
She
fact,
was-
she would have had an 8-8 double with the 3-5 shot in the next leg. News box with Paco Lopez.
There you go.
Yeah.
Paco burned me some money yesterday. He was aboard Joey Esposito's horse. Once again, finished second. A well-meant effort for Sir Gusa. Just can't get off the
Monmouth
schneid.
Park.
He's-
Yeah.
He was at Monmouth in the sixth
Paco's
race.
winning at like a 30% clip there, though.
Yeah,
He's
well,
dominating.
not for the
Yeah.
one that I needed. And I had this huge long shot in the previous race combined with Joey's horse for a $5 double. I would have got out. I mean, it would have been a $450 ticket, and he finished second. So
Any poker hands you want to describe here?
you're the one talking about the first at Parks.
Oh, you
was the
asked me. Who
Degenerate-
won the race? I told
I
you.
didn't
it
say
was
that. I
Bonnie's
said,
number.
do you have any action going today?
No, I have zero action. I'm laying off for a while. I'm
All right,
gun
that's
shy
it
right
for
now.
today.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, you know what? I apologize for lifting the cucumber out of your salad plate. I realized it was atrocious behavior. once again.
Oh, that was disgusting. I mean,
Following my wife.
it's so typical that we just look and go.
Both
My
Shirley
dog has
and
more manners about stuff like that.
Shirley and Val looked at me and said, there wasn't a fork? I was like, oh, yeah, there was a fork. But
The fork is right there.
You had a fork in your hand. You were like sparing Lubie's stuff with a fork. Yeah. No, nobody puts their hand in a salad, though. I
Who
mean, I'm
does
sorry.
that?
That's somebody else's eating.
No one does that.
It's not like you picked a tomato off the side there. Even that would have been semi.
it was a cucumber off the side. It was.
It was in the middle of a salad. So, anyways, looking forward to Tropical Acres tomorrow. So
I'll try to do better.
Try, yeah,
Oh.
not in front of Jack, please. All
do
right?
not-
Oh no!
Do not do it.
Tomorrow, I might even wear a tie. Best behavior.
You don't
I'll
need a
make you
tie. The
proud.
place is closed. I mean, come on, let's not get carried
I'll
away.
make
here.
you pro.
Yeah.
He's a class individual. I gotta.
But
I
you
gotta
would need,
put
you
on
would
my
need a tie and a
A-game.
wipe your mouth after you.
Might have a jacket and a tie, all my
Slobber down the crab
utensils.
cakes.
I might even bring my own Swiss Army knife, so I always have any utensil I might need right in my hand. Because God forbid,
make a little
I should do
campfire
something.
while you're at it too in the aisle. I mean, what are you talking about? They do a great job there. You don't need all of this stuff.
Please.
They have silverware.
They do have silverware, but the question.
Just try not to make too much of a fool of yourself in
None of the
front of
sandwich
Jack's
crap,
studio.
please.
No, well, we're not gonna be stuffing huge amount. I'm not gonna try to say, "Hey, cut me like a 5-inch slab of prime rib."
One
and see if I
one
can
bite
stuff it in
prime
my
rib.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
no, we're gonna be on our best behavior because
You
it's a
buried
classy
Portnoy
place.
on this one bite thing. You
When
buried
we
him.
go to Jackson's, do what you want.
Yeah.
Linda knows you. It's ice cream. You're a little kid. Be
Face
a
full of ice cream would be fine.
at Jack's place tomorrow. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please, it's the first time.
We're gonna be
Try to exhibit some semblance of decorum.
Please.
I
at Tropical
promise.
Acres
I'll
tomorrow.
do my
All right?
best, and I
Okay.
need to start shedding weight so I could ride in the front row. Again.
I wouldn't be
Roller
surprised if
coasters.
Jack made some comment about that. Having picked it up off the show today.
It's pretty bad. Okay,
They're gonna
guys.
be there though. It's good. All right.
We'll see you tomorrow. Remember to enjoy every sandwich.